What's up everybody, Just Brewing here, and today we're going to be bottling and kegging our homebrew. In order to bottle your homebrew, there's a few things that you need. First, of course, bottles. Second, bottle caps. Third, a bottle capper, and then something like this. This is what we call a bottling wand. Now I'll show you how all this works and how it comes together, but first I want to keg the beer. In front of me is a homebrew raspberry sour that has been fermenting for about 4 weeks. Here in a second, I'm going to hook up some tubing to the bottling bucket, put the end of the tubing in our keg, and then just open the spigot, let some beer get into the keg. I want to prevent any risk of infection, so right now I do have sanitizer in it. Here in a bit, I'm gonna dump this out, and really it's as simple as putting beer in it. Let me show you how it works. Before I start racking my beer from the bucket into the keg, I always like to make sure that the keg has been properly sanitized. So I'm going to set it on its side, roll it around, let the sanitizer inside coat the walls. I flip it and check for leaks. This lid was actually leaking. The O-ring from the lid wasn't sealing properly, so rather than fiddle with it, I'm just going to take it off and replace it with the lid from a spare keg that's empty in the garage. Repeat the process. I'm going to set it back down, roll it around, check for leaks one more time. Swapping the lid seemed to take care of the leak, so I'm going to go ahead and empty the sanitizer out of the keg and get it ready for racking. If you're racking your beer from either a carboy or a regular fermenter that doesn't have a spigot, you may need something like an auto siphon that'll help you get the beer from the fermenter into the keg. In this case, I'm just in a bottling bucket, so I'm just going to hook up some sanitized beer line to the spigot and open it up. Once you've got your beer in your keg, it's time to start carbonating. So go ahead and put your lid on and hook it up to your CO2. Now there's a few ways to do this. I'm just going to show you how I do it. If you want to see the other ways, let me know in the comments and maybe I'll make a video. But what I like to do, I got some really good advice from a pro brewer here in Austin. They mentioned putting a liquid disconnect on the CO2 line and hooking it up to the liquid outpost on the keg. So I'm sending CO2 directly to the bottom of the keg, and when it gets to the top, it's going to break the surface. By breaking the surface of the beer, the CO2 will dissolve just a little bit faster, and it'll give it a chance to mix a little bit better. I like to set my regulator to about 30 to 35 psi, and once that's ready, I'll open the valve for the CO2, forcing the CO2 through the beer straw. From here on out, it's just a matter of letting the CO2 do the work. Once every day or so, I am going to come in and turn the CO2 off, release any CO2 that's in it, and then turn the CO2 back on to fill that headspace just to get those bubbles flowing again. Now, bottling your beer does take a little bit more time, and it definitely takes a little bit more effort. Just like kegging, you're going to start with sanitizing everything. So in front of me, I got a bottling tree with all my bottles on it. This bottling tree does have a sanitizing arm attachment to the top. So I'm just taking the bottles. I've already washed these in the dishwasher to make sure that they're nice and clean and set it to high heat to kill off any bacteria that may be on it. But you press the clean bottle down onto the sanitizing arm. It'll put sanitizer on the inside of the bottle. I dump it and then onto the next bottle. Bottling your beer does require priming solution, and priming solution is really just sugary water. The sugar in this mixture is going to get eaten up by the yeast and produce CO2. The CO2 being trapped in this bottle is going to dissolve into the beer, and that's how you get carbonated beer. The ratio for a priming solution for a 5-gallon batch is usually 2 cups of water and 5 ounces of corn sugar. I did keg this beer first, so I'm mixing in my priming sugar now with a sanitized spoon. After that, it's a matter of hooking the hose up to the spigot, the bottling wand into the hose, and letting the spring-loaded bottle wand do the work. All you have to do is press down on the bottling wand for it to release the beer, that spring inside of it is going to compress, allowing the liquid to fall through. So you'll just fill the bottle all the way to the top, and then when you pull the wand out, it'll leave you with the perfect amount of beer. Once you've got your beer in your bottles, the bottles should have about an inch or so of headspace. You'll want to take your sanitized bottle cap and put it on your bottle. My bottle capper has a magnet on it, so it makes it really easy to line up, but you'll use the capper to crimp down the edges by pressing down on the arms of the capper, just like this. You'll need to repeat this for every bottle that you have. Once you finish your last bottle, you are done. These puppies are ready for storage, and then it's just a matter of letting the yeast eat away at that priming solution to produce a carbonated beer. Once you're done bottling and capping all your beer, let them sit for about 1 or 2 weeks. After that, you should be good to pop one open and test it. If you hear the fizz leave the bottle, just like that, you've got beer that's ready to drink. Once you've opened and tested one and you know it's good to drink, go ahead and refrigerate them and you can drink them at your leisure. Beer at this point has a pretty decent shelf life. You should be good to leave these either in the fridge or in your closet for what could be a month or two before it actually matters. Really, it's just a matter of drinking them when you can. That'll do it for this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments about what you've seen so far, feel free to put them in the comments. I have no problem answering them there or even making a full video depending on the question. Don't forget to visit justbrewing.com and justbrewing.com/merch where all proceeds are going to be donated. Thanks for viewing Just Brewing.